Okay. I did not have like tests because everybody's really bad. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And a lot of people mess up on the same thing. Don't do it. Okay. So, what I just did, I suggest everybody write down, right? That has not changed. So I'm going to have number 1 is 4 and 598 hundredths plus 62 plus 0.71 equals. Alright. Who can guess as to what I wanted you to acknowledge in this problem?
Write them in sequence, write them in order.
Okay.
Right?
The decimals.
See where the 62 supposed to go?
Right.
And it was supposed to go in front of that decimal.
Behind the,
Where's my
behind
decimal
the
go?
8.
Behind the 8.
Behind the 2.
Behind the 2.
This one already has a decimal in it, so this one's good to go. This one didn't have one, but we added it in, and that one's got one. Now, it's addition, so it doesn't matter how I write it as far as which one's in order, or which one goes where, as long as my decimals line up.
Okay.
0.
What's my 2 going to go underneath?
The 8.
The 9.
Nope. Go that way.
That's right.
Woo!
That's right. Another way to see it.
The 8. Sit down, mama. The 2 gonna go under the 8.
My 2 is going to go under the 4.
Oh, okay. No wonder. That's your wrong.
Right? My decimals always line up.
Oh, okay.
My next one, 0.71 hundredths. Don't play with that. We do not stick our fingers in there. Alright? We're not to the answer yet.
Why I put the G, I put 7.3 over 8.
Man.
But then with the careless mistakes I do.
Decimal, decimal, and decimal.
Oh, man.
Decimals line up.
Put the lotion down, bro. Put the lotion down.
Oh, no, it's here. Nope.
I'm
Sit down.
Too much stuff.
This is what you're saying.
Okay. Nope, go sit down. You're already making messes. Don't pull your hair out.
Oh, shit.
Okay. I love her hair. Alright, so decimals line up. That's the key here. Now, if I want to go back and fill in my zeros, I absolutely can.
Hey, what? Let me take my
Don't
mind.
punch it. Don't punch it. Oh, she's still.
9 to 1. Look, sit right here. You move. Stay right there. Don't move.
But my decimals always line up. When I do my answer, my decimals go straight down.
Okay.
So it's like a little bow tie.
Okay.
Alright? We are doing this starter worksheet for a reason. Right? You know, I don't normally like things like this. I'd rather give you a whole worksheet. But if we're not going to get it, well, I need to figure out some other way of doing something. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright?
Yeah.
That's why I tell you, you have to write down everything I write down exactly how I write it down. Because if you don't, then you're going to start making things up like what we did on the quiz this week, and I don't want to see that again. Okay?
Can you point some people out? You? See that? Nah,
Drink.
okay, Mr. Young. Alright.
You wanted to be pointed out.
Nah, I see what we're saying.
But why would you raise your question?
Don't ask a question you can't you can't handle the answer for.
Okay,
All right? Okay? I know you guys love being in my class, but as much as I love having you all in class, I want you to move on to the next class. Okay? Just like we talked about before. Like I said, I'm not going to be here Thursday. Someone else is going to be here.
Let me find out it's Matthew again. Come on, baby. This is Brandon.
I don't tell anybody I have to come back out of the chair. Yeah, okay. Alright? So if you don't know to line up the decimals, that's a problem.
On me.
Alright. So now I just do basic addition, right?
8.
8, 0, and 0 is 8. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry my 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. Plus 7 is 13. Plus 1.
It's 17. 7.
Antonio, stop talking. Antonio, stop talking. 4 plus 1 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. My 6, I can even put some more zeros in right here if I want to, if I feel frisky. 6 and a bunch of zeros is still 6. So my answer is 67 and 308,000.
No, 67 decimal, 308.
What does decimal mean? And. Don't Alright, so my next one. Now this one had a trick to it too. What was the trick to this one? If I've got 78 and 50 or 562 hundredths minus 95, what's my trick to this one?
95 on top, because it's still a larger number.
Put the 95 on top. Now we could do this technically. We could go into negative numbers, but that's not what we're doing in this class. So in my class, you put the 95.
I think I did that right.
Right? So I would, in the directions for this, I would say rearrange. Right? Once you get into negative numbers, you wouldn't switch this. But in my class, right, in math lab, I want you to rearrange it, just like we talked about before, putting the bigger number on top.
How about the people in the hallway supposed to be out there, bro?
There's people out in the hallway?
Yep.
No, they upstairs, my Mr. Dewan, he got them in check, though.
Okay.
Might be his job.
Alright. Alright, so in higher level math classes, you would not change this. In my math class, I want to see the bigger number on top. Alright? We still line up our decimals. My decimal here. My decimal here. Wait, there's another circle there. 562. Right? And again, we're doing this because we are not dealing with negative numbers. Yes, John?
When you get to doing it, can I write something on the board to show you something? If I keep messing up on every, like, one number, I just miss one number.
Yes.
And all me long. Like,
Okay. So I'm going to put in my zeros. Where am I going to borrow from?
5.
The 5. That's the first place I'm going to borrow from. I might need to borrow later, but the only thing I need to worry about are these numbers right here because I go right to left. So I take my 4, turn it, or my 5, turn it into a 4, make my 0 a 10. Now what do?
Keep doing it, make it 9.
Cross out my 10 and make it a 9. Make it a 10. You said keep going?
No, I got this one wrong, so.
Yeah, make that a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8.
Not really, just gotta pay attention.
9 minus 6 is 3.
Alright, hold on, let's all pay attention. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 5 is 4. I bring my decimal straight down. 4 minus 8 is?
You can't do that.
I can't do it, I need to borrow. Thank you. So I take my 9 and I turn it into an 8. Now I've got 14 minus 8 is 6. 8 minus 7 is 1. My answer is 16 and 438,000.
That is really hard for me.
That's okay.
Because of those zeros.
I'm working on board.
And sometimes I don't know which one to make it 9 and which one to make it 10. And that
Alright.
really messes me up.
Okay, so I worked all the way over, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 5 and I turned it into a 4. And then I added a 10. Remember, you might not have been here for this.
Can you write something in words? Can you write it like?
Hold on, listen to this what I'm going to already say. When I'm borrowing, okay, let's do it without decimals. Let's say I just did it with numbers, or whole numbers without decimals. Okay? So I'm going to turn this into 95,000, okay? So it's just a comma, minus 78,000, 562. Okay, so I'm going to take out my comma, just so we don't get confused. When I borrow at any point in time, right, so right here, this position is what, Cameron? So I've got ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands, right? If I take this apart and I turn this into 4, all right, what I actually have is,
Okay, why are you starting over there?
Because that's where you borrow from.
okay,
Because it's a subtraction problem.
Would it be fair to say, because since all those zeros are there, and you can't subtract any of the lower numbers from the zero?
okay, so I look at this. Can I take 2 from 0?
No.
Alright, so I can't take 2 from 0, right? If I say, give me 2 blocks, and you have no blocks, can you give me 2 blocks?
Come on over here today and
Okay.
today, y'all.
Alright, everybody, just be quiet for me, okay? Alright, so I can't take anything. Do I have anything over here to borrow from?
No.
This is literally like you go over to Chaz and say, Chaz, do you have any blocks? And he's like, no, I got no blocks. So he's like, okay, but I have a friend that'll give them to me. They won't give them to you, but they'll give them to me. Okay? So then he goes to the next guy. Do you have any blocks? And I'm like, that guy says the same thing. No, but I know somebody that does, and they'll let me borrow some. So he goes over here. Okay? So literally, it's like one friend going to another friend, like some kind of chat line. So, but when I get to here, this is my thousands position. All right? I need to borrow over here. If I put a little 1 right there, what does that look like?
10.
But if I look at the whole thing, what does it look like?
100.
1,000. So I'm in my thousands position, and I literally break it down. So I've got 5,000, right? But this guy needs to borrow some. So I'm going to take my 5,000 and I'm going to turn it into 4,000 plus 1,000. And this goes right there. Do you see that? If I break it down like that? Okay? Now, I'm going to rewrite it down here. So now I'm going to have 5,000. Okay? There's my 1. I've already crossed this out and made it a 4. Okay. So this is what I'm working with here, right? I don't care anything about what's to the left. I've got my 5,000. I broke it down into 4,000 plus 1,000. That is still equals 5,000, right? So I haven't taken anything literally. I make this 4,000, right? Plus 1,000. Now I go down here. Well, this guy still needs some. All right, so now I don't care about this position. Now I borrow from this. So now I have 1,000. I'm sorry, I have, 1,000. And then I turn that into 900 plus 100. Because if I look at this, right, I have 900. That's 900, right? Okay. Now, this guy needs some. And this position is the tens, right? But if I add a 1 here, what does that look like? What does the whole thing look like? 100. Okay? Now, I can't, like, the number itself, right, I told you guys it's 0 to 9, right? This is like a special occasion. Okay? This is not regular math, but it is. Okay? So, because if I said you have $900, give me 90, how much would you have left? So you have 900, you're going to give me 90. Just in your head, you have $900 and you give me 90. How much do you have left?
810.
Shh, everybody quiet. You'd have 810 left, right? Do you see that? If it was just dollars? Okay. So, but what we're doing now is I took my 1,000 that I borrowed from this guy, and I'm going to break it down into stacks. Remember when I talked about things with pennies? No talking. When I talked about things with pennies, and I told you like the ones position was like 1 penny in a bag, the tens position is like 10 pennies in a bag. Like you're literally working with tens, and then you're literally working with hundreds. Okay? Remember when I said when we did addition and you carry, you're not just carrying 1, you're technically carrying 10? Okay, good. That's what we're doing, but we're going the opposite way. Think of it that way then. Okay, so now I have technically 1,000, right, because I borrowed a whole 1,000. But I need to break it up so everybody has some. So now I have 900, okay? Then I break that 1,000 down, right? Now I have 900 and 100, so I still have the same amount. Now I'm going to do it again. So now I'm going to have, here's my 5,000. There's my 4. There's my 1,000, my 10. I turn that into 900 plus 100. Now I'm going to do it again. So now I'm going to have 1,000 equals 900 plus 100. Okay? Now I'm going to have 100 equals 90 plus 10. Okay? So now I still have, do you see it? Did it just click?
Yeah.
Yes!
Okay. Because, okay, you know how you do something for so long and it's really hard to get. I've been going from this side to this side for years, and it's been messing me up. So when you show me this, like, it's hard to get because I've been having to do it forever. Okay.
Oh, good. All right, breakthrough. Okay, good. All right, now to stay with this, though, so when I bring this all back up here, okay, so this turns into 900, right? So right here, technically, I would be looking at 900 minus 562, okay? So then there's my 10, all right? So, but when I look at this, that's actually 100, right? If I stretch it all out, I'm going to turn it into 90 and 10. So now I go through one at a time and do 10 minus 2, 8. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 5 is 4. Right? Now I can't do 4 minus 8, right? So I need to borrow one more time. But now, so make the 9 an 8. And the 4 becomes a 14. So now 14 minus 8 is 6. 8 minus 7 is